Tomorrow at 4, Vincent Price returns in the Theater of Blood, right here on Dialing for Dollars. All the news is next on Newswatch 16.
Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, pilot Jack Rulin in Skycam 16, Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark, and Joe Zone on sports. This is Newswatch 16.
Striking workers at a pharmaceutical plant in Northumberland County are right now voting on a new contract. More than 300 workers at the Merck & Company plant in Riverside walked off the job 3 months ago. The area employees are part of nearly 4,000 in 5 states who are striking Merck facilities. The union representing them is recommending that they accept the new offer and end the strikes. Nolan?
Our state representatives looking into the problem of underage drinking are coming to Nanticoke next month for a hearing. Some of those lawmakers, along with local drug and alcohol experts and educators, met in Wilkes-Barre today, observing Teenage Alcohol Abuse Awareness Week. They heard about a Harrisburg bill that would tax liquor another 2% to provide money for alcohol education programs.
That the liquor industry and the malt beverage industry is the responsible factor, and if we're going to have the problems, they should pick up the tab.
Representative Stanley Geraldine heads the Harrisburg Committee hearing what people have to say about teenage drinking. Newswatch 16's Mark Davis asked some people today how they feel about paying more for booze if it goes to help those who get in trouble from drinking.
The price increase at your local liquor store or beer distributor would not be dramatic should the tax go through. And the people I talked to didn't seem to mind paying more if the money goes for alcohol education.
If it means that we're going to educate the younger people to stay away from the hard liquor, fine. This is a program I think has been sorely needed for a long time.
I think it would be very good. I think the children today need to be educated because there is a lot of drug and alcohol abuse.
To give you an idea how the prices might change, this bottle of whiskey costs $9.48. If this tax were to become law, the price would go up by about 19 cents, as would the prices on most hard liquors. That price increase with a similar one for beer statewide would generate about $30 million for educational programs.
If we have more money now, we can get involved preventatively and do things like community awareness, community education, school focusing, rather than worry about the treatment per se.
Dr. Tom DiMatteo says prevention is the key, and the key to prevention is curriculums like this $8,000 kindergarten through 12th grade program, which now only a few schools use. But with more money, all schools could use it. Action on the tax proposal is expected later this fall. Mark Davis, Newswatch 16, Wilkes-Barre.
If you smoke, stick around. We have another warning for you.
Plus, we'll let you in on a new process that'll help doctors repair bones. That story and more as Newswatch 16 continues.
Catch the big winners on Wheel of Fortune tonight.
If you have ulcers and you smoke, there's a new warning out just for you tonight. Stop smoking. Newswatch 16's Bob Costantini tells us why in this report from Northumberland County.
They don't just go away, even with advanced medicines. They have to slowly disappear. Ulcers such as these shown to us by an X-ray technician at Shamokin State General Hospital usually start by stress. Latest research into why ulcers recur has been targeted toward what some use as a way to relax: cigarettes. And apparently cigarettes and ulcers don't mix. A new study has come out indicating that for people who suffer from ulcers and smoke cigarettes, the chances of recurring ulcer problems are much greater. Shamokin surgeon Ed Twigger says doctors have felt for years smoking is a prime cause for ulcers to come back.
Nicotine is a stimulant to the production of acid.
Dr. Twigger says the new study supports those feelings. You won't need to convince Ed Kelly. For a year now, he's been off cigarettes after 3 hospital trips for ulcers. His doctor told him he had to quit.
I got off them, I'm off. And I really feel better. I figure either that or die. So, my doctor told me the same thing. So.
Bob Costantini, Newswatch 16, Shamokin.
We have a medical breakthrough to tell you about tonight. It involves our regional Red Cross. You know it as being involved in the blood business, but now it's also in the bone business. freeze-dried bones. The Red Cross and Geisinger Medical Center announced today they're starting a bone bank program, one of only 3 in the country. It involves educating us about what useful things can be done with bone that hospitals obtain during operations. Before now, the bone was incinerated as waste.
Who has a fracture with a bony defect or a bony defect secondary to a tumor, a bony defect for whatever reason, is going to require some type of a bone transplant to bridge that gap.
Doctors say once bone is donated, it can be frozen and kept indefinitely. The program has so far been used on 2 patients at Geisinger. Newswatch 16's Valerie DeVine takes us into the operating room for one of those operations.
You're looking at a medical breakthrough of sorts, the kind that could mean the difference in someone's life. The patient who's suffering from a severe case of arthritis is getting an artificial knee.
This operation in itself isn't unique. What is unique is what's being done with the patient's bone after the operation, bone that normally would just be thrown away.
Here's how the whole process works. The bone from this patient's knee will go to St. Louis, Missouri, one of 2 cities in the country that specializes in a process called freeze-dried processing. It will be frozen there to preserve it for use later on. Doctors here say it then can be sent anywhere, whether it's back to Geisinger or some other hospital. Here at Geisinger, shipping bones off for freezing is a relatively new process, one that doctors say has some definite advantages.
The bone available from that individual may not be adequate to fully supplement the graft for fusing the spine. So in that case, freeze-dried bone as a supplement is ideal to complete the operation.
Valerie DeVine, Newswatch 16 at the Geisinger Medical Center.
Here's some other medical news for some 700,000 low-income senior citizens in Pennsylvania. You are now eligible for reduced dental fees under a new plan unveiled today by the Pennsylvania Dental Association. Under the plan, seniors who are 65 and older who do not have dental insurance and who meet income requirements will get discounted dental care. Karen?
Earlier this week, Action 16's Jerry Gartenberg told us that a judge gave his temporary okay for PennDOT to charge us an extra $5 to register our vehicles. Well, today that judge continued the order, at least until Tuesday. The money collected from motorists would go into a fund to pay accident victims' medical bills when they go beyond $100,000. It's supposed to go into effect when Pennsylvania's no-fault auto insurance system runs out October 1st. But until today's hearing resumes on Tuesday, the judge says he'll consider the state's argument that insurance companies should collect the money.
Hundreds of dairy farmers in our area who have lost money just don't know what they're going to do now. The reason? It's the end of the road for the financially troubled Shep's Cheese Company. Farmers sold millions of dollars of milk to this plant, seen from Skycam 16 in Wyoming County's Lemon Township, but are still owed 40% of their money. The firm now says it has failed after filing for bankruptcy last year in attempts to reorganize and start up again. Now, Shep's officials say they will not oppose a judge's recommendation to liquidate the company. Dairy farmers can only hope now that someone else will purchase the modern cheese-making plant closed down in Wyoming County. Our chief meteorologist, Tom Clark, is coming up next with his forecast.
And I can see he's at the Lackawanna Arts Festival, hitting another festival, Tom.
That's right, Karen. A good crowd here tonight, and why not? The weather is perfect for a festival here in Scranton, but when we come back, I'll tell you when the rain will arrive.
You ought to get out this fall and tour a United Way member agency in your community. From the very young to the very old, United Way serves thousands of your friends and neighbors each year. Visit an agency and see your United Way contribution at work and give generously, cause thanks to you, it works for all of us. The United Way. Call your United Way today.
In case you missed the Newswatch 16 update last night at 11, we thought you would like to see the results of yesterday's unscientific telephone survey. The question we asked, if you were to vote today, meaning yesterday, would you vote Democrat or Republican? 1,700 of you responded. 59% said you would vote Republican, while 41% said you would vote Democratic. Those numbers are almost exactly the same as an ABC News Washington Post poll, where 56% of 2,000 people questioned are leaning Republican, while 40% favored the Democrats.
You know, since Tom Clark is at the Lackawanna Arts Festival, let's see if he could be the Artful Dodger and get that rain out of the forecast, Tom.
Well, I can't play God now, Karen. That can be dangerous. Live in Scranton here, the Arts Festival is underway. The Lackawanna County Arts Festival just began this evening, and it goes right through the weekend. Now, what they don't need here is rain because there are thousands of pictures on display. However, I'm afraid I do have some bad news with a big change beginning tomorrow. Outside now, we have a partly cloudy sky, lots of blue showing, and the temperature stands at 77. Humidity 63%. The wind is coming up from the south at 12, and the barometer is falling. Air quality today, good here in Scranton. Fair, not quite as good down there in Wilkes-Barre. Range in temperature 79 and 55 today. 92, that record high set back in 1931. And a shot there of some trees over in Ellisburg in Northumberland County. A lot of sunshine down that way. There's the latest satellite picture of Hurricane Diana. The eye of the storm came ashore last night about 1:15 a.m. Now, the forecasters were calling it one of the worst hurricanes to hit that area since Hazel back in 1954. 16 inches of rain has fallen in the past 2 days at Wilmington, North Carolina. But that is now the big problem. Rain, lots of it, and flooding. The winds will drop below hurricane strength tonight, but the flooding will continue, and it will be very, very bad. And now, take a look at that line of clouds stretching from New York State out across the Great Lakes. That's a front that'll be heading towards Pennsylvania, entering the state later tonight, but it will stay close enough to us to bring the threat of rain, which will last into Saturday, as I see it now. The hurricane, the remnants of it, will be heading out to sea on Saturday. I don't think we're going to see much of any rain from the hurricane, but that front will be our rainmaker over the next couple of days. Very cool temperatures will follow. Now, tonight, there will be a breeze out your window. It'll stay up right past midnight. It'll stay dry, except for maybe up there in Tioga and Bradford County, where there may be a thunderstorm, but otherwise a nice night for most of us. Briar Brook in Mountaintop, a section up there, 60 below tonight, 62 in Carbondale. As you can see, temperatures for the most part low to middle 60s tonight. Now, tomorrow, I suggest, if you're coming to the Arts Festival here, to bring your umbrella. I think some showers will develop, more likely in the afternoon tomorrow, and there could be a few thunderstorms around as well. Temperatures holding in the middle 70s, 78 in Easton tomorrow. Here in Scranton, about 75. Now, the sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:43. The sun sets Friday evening at 7:14 behind the clouds. Mild tonight, some showers tomorrow, a few periods of rain, a few hours of rain Saturday morning, maybe into Saturday afternoon. Look at that high Saturday, 62. Sunday, partly sunny, chilly, and it'll stay well below normal temperature-wise into Monday. So I'm sorry about the changes coming, but do expect some rain the next couple of days. Karen and Nolan, I'm going to look around here and see if I can find any pictures of thunderstorms.
Well, we thought you'd be able to paint a better weather picture out there. I guess not.
Yeah, I'll try. I guess not, no.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay.
Joe Zone is next with the sports. Tonight, 2 important pennant races.
Plus, the Sports Star of the Week will have all the action as Newswatch 16 continues.
Are you just hanging around, wandering with nothing to do? If you can't bear another Saturday night alone, we found something for you. Take a dash of Stansoa and a splash of Joe Zone. Add some shake, rattle, and roll. Blend the Lone Ranger and Orville Wright. Mix in some Bambi and some Snow White. And you get a great family night. Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, Saturdays at 7.
The latest big winners in the Pennsylvania Lotto games were announced today, and one is from our area. Joseph Norris Sr. of Schuylkill County will split $3.3 million with another winner. The McAdoo man and a woman from Chester picked all 6 winning numbers in the August 31st drawing of the Pennsylvania Lotto.
All that rain that our friend Tom told us was heading our way, well, it was in Chicago today, and that affects our sports picture, right,
That's
Jim?
right. The Cubs were rained out. A chance for the Mets to do some damage, pick up a half. They didn't do it. The Mets Well, they're having the problems that inexperienced teams with young pitchers usually have, inconsistency. Last night, remember, they got the terrific shutout from Dwight Gooden. Well, this afternoon, the Pirates jumped all over Walt Terrell and company for a 14-4 win. Pick it up early. Pirates hurt the Mets in many ways. In the top of the second, Pittsburgh pitcher Larry McWilliams, he got the win. Perfect sacrifice bunt. Williams is out at first, but Doug Frobel races home to score from third, 3-0 Pirates. Mets manager Dave Johnson saw the lead balloon to 5-1. Pirates in the seventh. Jim Morrison hit New York's, look at this job here. Bases loaded, double clears the bases off Pirates. Pittsburgh led 8-1 en route to a 14-4 win this afternoon. Not good. Well, sort of a disappointing way, too, to follow up that masterful 16-strikeout job by Gooden last night. The Met rookie last night, in a word, awesome. They call him Dr. K, and here's why. When you can throw a fastball 90-plus miles an hour and then drop the big curve like Gooden did last night, you're going to strike people out. When Marvell Wynn whiffed Gooden, he had the major league record for strikeouts by a rookie.
My season total this year was 14, and that was kind of unbelievable, and I had a lot of 10 games in plus, and just a tremendous outing. But, you know, the main thing, I just want to go for the wins and help the team out as best as possible to be contenders.
Gooden ended with 16 on the night, 251 for the season. He might get 4 more starts and maybe another 40 strikeouts to add on to his record. Well, our sports star this week is a fairly familiar guy around the Big 11 football conference. Last week, just a bit too familiar as far as Valley View is concerned. It's said that a true star shines even on the darkest of nights. For North Pocono, this past Saturday could have been very dark if it hadn't been for the help of Jim Pehanick. Tied with Valley View, 0-0 with just 4 minutes left in the game, Pehanick picked off his second pass and returned it 55 yards for the game's only score.
My job is just to read the quarterback. He just had a straight drop back. My job was just to drop back, and I did, and a guy came in my zone, and he just threw the ball to him, and I got in front of him. I just got the ball. I didn't think I was going to make a touch or anything. After I spun off the one tackler, though, I saw an alley, and I went up it.
To go along with a couple of interceptions, Jim rushed for almost 50 yards and completed 8 of 14 passes for over 100 more. He's the leader this year, directing a Trojan offense that was more wide open than last year.
But with Jimmy, we run a little bit of option, but we like to sit back in the pocket and let him throw the football.
Well, I say my passing game is my strongest point of the game. I like to sit back in the pocket and pass, but if I have to, I'll run.
For leading his team to a big opening game win over previously top-ranked Valley View, offensively and defensively, Jim Pehanick, this week's Sports Star of the Week. And the Sports Star runners-up, Bill Knorr, Berwick, Al Yunkis, Bucknell, Bob Ruddy, Dunmore, Scott Marchetti of Hazleton, Sandy Dickton of Lake Lehman, Mark Salek of Western Wayne, and Billy Roberry of Honesdale. Our Sports Star committee made up of media members from throughout the area, like Ron Allen of WARM. Soccer today, Scranton beat Kings. Final score, 4-0. Scranton won it. That's all of it. Give tonight your best shot. See you at 11 o'clock.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. You sound a little like Joe Piscopo there at the end, didn't you?
Who's he?
Tell us. Right.
I know who.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Newswatch 16 continues with a salute to a famous radio wake-up man.
We'll show you a guy who's been helping many of us to get out of bed in the morning. That's next as Newswatch 16 continues.
Hi, this is Sergeant Peter Fry of the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. Attention non-high school graduates. Are you having trouble getting in the military service because you lack a high school diploma or a GED? A recent policy change now allows us, the Army Guard, to put you in without a high school diploma and without a GED. Hey, this is your big break. Give me a call today at Nanticoke at 735-8117, and we'll start talking about a military career for you.
Finally tonight, a tribute to a man who started his radio career in our area 25 years ago today.
Later on, I want to tell you a story, well, maybe tomorrow, about this girl, this woman I know that has a fantastic judgment of men. She can tell a man from a woman every time. It really...
He's Harry West, familiar early morning announcer for WARM Radio and credited for keeping that station among the top-rated AMs in our area. Newswatch 16 watched West in action at his Warm Studios today.
The thing was the nice people in this area and how receptive they were to everything I did and everything all of us did here at Warm Radio.
Harry West's celebrating his silver anniversary on radio and still going strong in Northeast Pennsylvania.
Congratulations to him.
Congratulations indeed.
That's Newswatch 16 for this Thursday.
Be sure to join us tonight on the update when we'll have the story on a big meeting tonight concerning radioactive waste that'll be brought through our area.
World News Tonight is next with a look at the damage from Hurricane Diana.
We'll be back at 11. For the entire team, thank you for joining us.
Enjoy your evening.